All right, so living in Fountain is definitely not for everybody. So today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Fountain, Colorado, so that you can decide for yourself if living in Fountain is for you or not. Hey guys, Iris with Prosperity Group, brokered by eXp Realty. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm always posting content about living in Colorado Springs and the surrounding areas. So if you're thinking about moving to the area and you want to know all things, all the updates, real estate, housing, things like that, make sure you're subscribed. And if you ever need help moving to the area, I'm happy to help you. My phone number is across the screen. Call, text, email, however you want to reach me. I am here for you. One of the biggest things about living in Fountain is that it's definitely a smaller vibe, smaller town feel. Now, a lot of things have been rolling and moving there in the area, such as shopping. A lot of new restaurants are popping up. They're just building rapidly, right? Like where everywhere else is building. But in Fountain, depending on what part of the neighborhood, you can get a newer house or you can get a smaller, more older house, one that has a lot more character and just kind of that history and interesting attributes about it. And then like if you're going south on the Can-Am Highway, you will find a bunch of older houses, just kind of more farm feely. Like you can get some land so that you can put some horses and maybe some goats, I don't know, whatever you're into. So you can get some land pretty inexpensively down there in Fountain and just kind of have some acres and be all to yourself. And then you can also go on the other side, like kind of where Link Road is, and I'll throw up a map for that. Squirrel Creek, all those houses over by the high school and kind of by the Fountain Fort Carson Admin School District building, you can get a lot of newer houses. So you get a lot of nice mountain views up in this area, and it's just a lot more affordable. So if you're moving to Fort Carson area, like you're being stationed out there, it's a huge military town. I mean, not all military, but you do have a lot of people that are, since it's so close to the base. And then there's a bunch of schools that we have on base as well. So if you're out of the Fort Carson housing, then you can live on base. Your kids can go to school on base. The con about that though is if there was something like a lockdown or something, people cannot go on or off the base. And so that, I had a friend that worked at the school district, and one time they had a situation where there was a lockdown and she was not able to leave, and her kids went to school off base. So that was kind of an issue where she wanted to leave and go get her kids to make sure, you know, just a lot of different weird things could happen living on base and going to school on base. So just a few things to consider. And then the District 8 is a school district, and it's heavily funded by the government. So that is one nice thing, is that they have a lot more money to pour into. You know, all the school districts are great in Colorado Springs and the surrounding areas. I feel like we do have a good grasp. There's always room for improvement, but overall, generally speaking, pretty good schools. But if you want to get kind of into the details about each school and what their school ratings are, you can always visit niche.com, and that is from what I understand, a website that is offered by the FBI. And so you can go on there, look at the neighborhoods, the districts, and see what scores they get and things like that. So I'll put that link underneath this video in the description box so you can research that all out for you. But yes, so Fountain has a really good community vibe, a community sense and feel throughout the neighborhood. But me personally, I like to be around more shops and more things to do. So if you wanted to go to like a movie theater, you're gonna have to go in town to Colorado Springs or drive probably a good 40 minutes to get to a good theater. All the really cool stuff such as Top Golf, we have Overdrive, which is like a little go-kart place. We have a place that I can't remember the name, but it's kind of like you're in a building, but you are skydiving. So if you want to do a lot of those fun things, you're going to have to travel a little bit, but it's kind of nice if you don't mind the drive, you want to be in a quieter place, less traffic. Some parts do have a little bit more traffic than others, but it's just not as bad as like Colorado Springs or going more north, you know, being on the highway. The other thing is like, I like to be around the snow. So in Fountain, It doesn't snow as much as it would like in the springs. The further south you go, the less snow that you're gonna get. And so if you really like to see the snow more often, my husband, when we first started dating, he did live in Fountain, and I just liked being in town in Colorado Springs better. There's a different vibe, and you'll probably notice it if you come out here to visit. You can feel the difference between the springs. I don't know, the energy, the vibe is different. And so it really just depends on the person. What else? The other thing I could not stand about living in Fountain was the trains. They're so loud, and I don't know if that is something that I could get used to, but the trains are constantly going. You can hear them in the background at night when you're sleeping, like around the clock. So that was one thing that I couldn't really get down with personally, but for some people you might be used to that, you might not care. So just something else to think about. A little bit smaller town, smaller population, but everyone is friendly, everyone's super nice. They do have that family community vibe. They have some parks and some hikes, but not as much as they would in the Springs. So homes are more affordable there, suburb and outskirt of Colorado Springs. So anyway, that's it for living in Fountain, Colorado, pros and cons. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.